Hi everybody, this is Oksana. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and sane during the quarantine, if you are quarantined. And so today I'm going to bring you this new tutorial, and it involves a copper washer. And it is a washer that I found at an auto shop. I'll show you kind of when I get started with the video, the packaging from it and everything. But it's a little funky pendant that, you know, is a little different, a little futuristic, I think. So if you want to see how this is made, just keep watching. And this is option 2 that has 2 different bales. So I'm going to show you this one first, and then I'll show you the other bale option. All right, so this is my attempt number 2. I accidentally deleted the beginning of this video when I first recorded it, but it's even better. You know why? Because now I have the end of it still, and the second time around I'm going to make a different bale, and I'm going to include both footages of both bales. So this is going to be, you know, one pendant, 2 different bale options for you, so even better. So basically we're going to start with 20 gauge square copper wire from RioGrande.com. It comes in a spool like this. I barely have any left, and you are going to need 2 pieces of it that are 8 inches long. And then we're going to use some 22 gauge half round wire. So square wire, half round wire, pretty much what I always use. And just leave it on the spool. Let me unravel this little loop that happened here. Leave it on the spool, grab an end here, find roughly the middle of your 2 wires, and then go, so I'm just gonna hold this way, I don't know why, go just like 1 finger below the middle, you know what I mean, and start wrapping around going this way, and that way our wrap is going to end up being below the middle. So we're going to have more wires at the top, less wires at the bottom, which is what we want. We want slightly more wires for the bale. If that's too complicated for you, just cut your wires a few inches longer. This way you just have long ends on every side, and it's totally fine. So wrapping. This is gonna have to be quite long. This is gonna be as long as the hole in the washer, which I probably should have said first. Okay, let me take a quick pause and show you the copper washer that I'm working with. So this washer has been hammered on an iron block by a chasing hammer. If you use this side of the chasing hammer, this rounded side, and you just hammer, it makes these little dents, and it gives it this nice texture. I wanted to show you an unhammered one, but my son was helping me and he got really carried away and he hammered every single washer. So this is the package. It's probably different in, you know, every country, but here in Australia, this is the brand of washers, I guess, that I was able to find at an auto shop. It looks like they are 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/8 of an inch. And the size really doesn't matter because, well, it matters in terms of the wires. If yours is bigger, you're gonna need longer wires, but you know, if it's smaller, that's fine. What matters is that the washer and the stone you use are the same size. So this is also just a little over an inch, and it's a marquise shaped stone. And so you'll see if I put it right on top of the washer, it's like the perfect size. It could be a smidge larger. These little ends can stick out a teeny bit. That's totally fine, but just get it as close as you can to the size of your washer. And that's really the key here. So that's the 2 things that you need. And then the rest is just going to be these wires. So I'm going to finish that up, and I'll show you in a minute how you want the length of this to go. So periodically just grab your washer, hold it over, and if you can see the wire, the square wire peeking through, that means you just need to do this a little longer. You want it to be roughly the size of that window, the little window basically of the copper washer. All right, let's just keep checking. Oh, look at that. That's pretty perfect, isn't it? Can't really even see it anymore. Maybe just like one more wrap. Now it's like the exact size. So let's trim the wires. Just make sure that your wire ends are on the same side. And that's going to be the side that is going to be up against the washer, so the wire ends will get hidden. Just grab your pliers and just press, 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 press. And then squish those wire ends down. And here's what we have. So now what you want to do is you want to open these wires up. Like that. All right, it's just like this. Shorter on the bottom if you did like shorter wires, longer, slightly longer on the top, just to give ourselves some extra room to make the bail. All right, now put the washer over it. Just like that. Here's the tricky part, and the reason this is tricky is just hard to hold everything because you only got two hands, but you want to hold the stone. Oh, sorry, I kicked my camera. You want to hold the stone, you want to hold the washer and the wire all together, and on top of that, you want to have it all be centered, you know, so you don't want like this to all move or shift over. So I'm gonna flip it over so you can kind of see better. I'm gonna flip it this way. I'm gonna start here on the shorter end. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this wire, I'm gonna bring it across, and I'm gonna put it through the hole here. And then you just need to use your fingers because see that it forms quite a big bump. Can't really do that with pliers, I don't think. So I think your fingers are the best bet to just kind of press on that a little bit. And then same on the other side here. Just kind of pull that through, and then this bump, just kind of press it with your fingers to just squish it down a bit. What you want to do now is pull on the wire. So the wire that's going here through the hole, you want to just kind of pull it this way, and then this wire, you want to just pull it that way, and then you want to see, whoa, stone's popping out. You want to see how everything is looking. Is it symmetrical? It's not symmetrical, so then try to get it as symmetrical as you can. Try to get everything, you know, tight. Ooh, hit my camera, so it's not, you know, their stone's not falling out. So what you want to do now is I'm kind of pushing on the stone here with my thumb so it doesn't slip out because I'm holding it upside down. I want to take this wire and I just want to wrap it around like this. And then same here. Just put it in and then pull on it like that. Now if this messed up any kind of spacing, anything here, you want to adjust that back. All right, let me see here. So then what you want to do is these basically the wrap that you made around the stone, you want to just press on it. Just press it down. So it's a tight wrap. It might make it crooked when you press on it, then you have to straighten it out. And then here as well, here on this side, just squish it. Squish your little wrap down. And then try to squish this part too. So it's just all flat against the nice and flat against the stone. See how it's looking here in the front. All right. Looking good. Oh, this part got kind of crooked here. That's fine, as long as it's hidden by the stone. That's really all that matters. That's all we want, is just for the stone to cover up that back part. I'm just trying to fix it so it's all nice and symmetrical. Just, you might have to play around with it a little bit. And there we go, looks symmetrical to me. So then here on the back, I guess you can probably take the stone out at this point, but just, you know, be careful not to like press or squish this to lose its shape. We're just going to trim these wires. Now, I'm normally not a fan of swirls on the backs of pendants because it can get caught on sweaters and such, but we're just going to make these really small, tight swirls, and we're going to use our pliers to just really press them flat against the washer, and that should be fine, I think. All right, going in here with our pliers, just really pressing down, making sure it's flat against the washer. Okay, here's the back. So now, putting my stone back in here, what we're gonna do now is the same thing here on the top part. So we're gonna take one wire, sweep it across the stone this way. No, if you pull too hard, see how it like pops this way? You want to just fix that with your nail so it's going across the actual stone, so the stone is trapped. You don't want to, you know, not pull it too hard, then the stone won't be trapped. Just kind of use your fingers, get it nice and tight, nice and symmetrical. And then you do want your wires to come up, so they're going, after they go across the stone and through the hole, they're going up, just like that. Stone is nice and secure. And now, just for extra security, I'm just going to make the same little wrap that I did here, where I'm just putting the wires through just one more time. I'll grab my pliers here, and I'm just gonna squish that down. Then here, same thing. Nice and squished, nice and flat. Here's my wires coming out the top. All right, so this is where it's gonna differ. So I'm gonna show you bail option number 1, and then I'm gonna take the end of that other video that I recorded, but then partially deleted, and I'm gonna show you the ending of that video. So that's gonna be bail option number 2. All right, and that's what you saw in the very, very beginning. So like in the introduction to this video, I showed you both, so you can decide which you want to see. So this option is the double bailed pendant. So I'm using the fattest part of my round nose pliers, and I am wrapping the wire kind of around the round nose plier and then back through the hole. So just like this. If you have some bail making pliers, you can do that as well. I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. I'm showing you the view from the back this time. Okay, just like that. Now what you want to do is kind of press this so there isn't such a large gap. Like that. I want to make sure that these are not, they're like symmetrical, you know what I mean? I think that this one is just a smidge higher than the other one, so I'm just gonna Alrighty, so we got our 2 bales, making sure they're nice and even. We're gonna bring the wires up. And we are going to take this wire end and we're gonna wrap it around this way. So the wire end is going around the bale. See what I mean here? Just like a little loop around the bale. So then what you want to do is just trim that. Just trim that nice and short. I'll zoom in a second here. And then just squish that little end down in there. Okay, so the end is hidden, and it's like this loop around the bale. Okay, so then same thing here. I'm gonna bring this wire up, and we're just bringing it around, 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 around. Trim it. And squish it. All right, making sure that's nice and even. So the way that you would wear this pendant is just 2 bales, that's all it is. So you put your chain or cord or whatever you're gonna wear it on, just put it through both bales. And then what you get is this. Just kind of a funky little medallion here with double the bales. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do something kind of funky since this whole pendant is kind of, you know, different. And I'm gonna start with the rightmost wire. And I'm just gonna put a kind of a curvy bend in it. And then it might be easier to do them both just one at a time. That way you can keep it equal, like even, I mean, if you just do a little at a time with each one of them. So I'm taking this wire, I'm putting like a curve in it just so I can get it through here. So just like that. Okay. And then same thing here. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to grab my pliers here and I'm just going to adjust this just so it looks good in my personal opinion. Just kind of adjust it to how you like it, basically. And trying to get them nice and even. There we go. Is that even? It's kind of even, but it's also kind of not. All right, let's see here. I think that's as even as I'm going to be able to get here. Looks like little ears. Now take your wire that's sticking out here and just bring it to the back. On both sides, just like that. Now get in here with your pliers and just press that down tight on both sides. All right. And now we're just going to do the same thing that we did on the bottom here, and that is we're going to make those little tiny loops. I'm just putting a little curve in it. So let me grab my wire cutters here, trim off the excess. All right, okay, so just grabbing that little end and making a nice little tight loop on both sides. All right, just like that. And then just make sure that it's just really pressed down as flat as it can go. So what we have, these little bunny ears, and what I'm gonna do this off camera because it's, you know, just kind of impossible but also allowed to do it on camera. But I'm just gonna hold, actually maybe I can try. I'll do it partially on camera and partially off camera, but I'm just gonna hammer these wires here, and I'm gonna hammer them with the round part of my chasten hammer. Now just be careful you don't hit your stone because this is obviously really close. Might be easier to just do the flat side first and then the round side. So I'm just doing it gently here so it's not super loud for you guys, but basically I'm gonna just do this off camera real quick. Alrighty, so there it is. It's just to add a little texture to kind of match the texture in here. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but just I like the look of it. So then what you do with your necklace, you can do this with a chain or with a cord necklace. You put it through this way from back to front and then back through the other one like that. So then you end up with this kind of more funky bail, which I think works well with this type of pendant just because it's kind of a funky pendant, so a funky bail to match. Oh, one thing I just noticed, sorry. See how this wire here, the spacing is a little different from here, so I'm just gonna fix that because I want it to be symmetrical and that's gonna bother me. A little more, a little more. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that's it. That is the copper washer pendant with a marquise shaped cabochon in there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.